But long, long ago, in the vast and beautiful lands of Vietnam, there rose a mountain so magnificent, so breathtaking, that legends said it was forged from pure glittering gold. People from all corners of the kingdom spoke its name with reverence Ni, Vianji Dol, the Golden Mountain. But this mountain held more than just treasure. Deep within its shimmering heart lived a powerful and ancient spirit, known far and wide as the King of the Golden Mountain. Now, at the very foot of this majestic peak, in a humble little cottage, lived a kind and hard-working young man named An. Every day, from sunrise to sunset, An toiled in the fields, his only thought to provide for his aging beloved mother. They didn't have much, just a small home and the food they could grow, but their lives were rich with love and respect. Anne's heart, you see, was honest and pure, a treasure far greater than any earthly gold. Life was simple, but it was good. Anne and his mother found joy in the small things. A warm meal, a shared story, the quiet peace of the countryside. The villagers all knew Anne for his gentle nature and his unwavering devotion to his mother. He was the kind of person who would give his last grain of rice to a neighbor in need, even when he had little for himself. But one year the skies darkened and the heavens opened up. A great flood, a monstrous deluge, swept through the land with terrifying force. Raging waters tore through the villages, washing away homes, destroying crops, and leaving devastation in its wake. Anne fought bravely against the torrent, trying desperately to save his mother and their home. But the flood was too powerful. Their small cottage was shattered and swept away by the current, with nothing left but the clothes on their backs and sorrow in their hearts. Anne knew he had to get his mother to safety. He lifted her onto his strong back, her frail body trembling from the cold and the shock, and began the arduous journey to higher ground. He waded through the churning, muddy waters, his every step a struggle against the relentless force of nature. His only thought was to reach the one place that stood tall and unconquered against the flood. The Golden Mountain. After what felt like an eternity, exhausted and heartbroken, Anne finally reached the foot of Ni Vianji. He gently set his mother down in a dry, sheltered cave, wrapping her in his own coat to keep her warm. Looking up at the colossal golden peak that pierced the stormy sky, with nowhere else to turn, Anne fell to his knees. He closed his eyes, clasped his hands together, and prayed with all the sincerity in his soul. He didn't ask for riches or power. He simply begged for a miracle, for a way to save his mother and rebuild their humble life. As his heartfelt prayer echoed in the mountain air, a brilliant, blinding light erupted from the heart of the mountain. It was a flash of pure, warm gold that pushed back the darkness of the storm. And there, standing before the astonished young man, was a figure of immense power and grace, radiating an aura of ancient wisdom. It was the King of the Golden Mountain. His voice was like the gentle rumble of the earth, yet it carried an undeniable authority. "I have heard your prayer, Anne," the king said, his gaze both piercing and kind. "I have watched you for a long time, You are a good son, full of love, and your heart is untainted by greed. I will help you," with a slow, deliberate wave of his hand. A section of the mountain face shimmered and dissolved, revealing a vast cavern that glittered with unimaginable wonders. Piles of gold coins as high as hills, rivers of molten silver, and jewels that sparkled with the light of 1,000 stars filled the cave. It was a treasure trove beyond anyone's wildest dreams, enough to make any man a king 100 times over. Anne stared, his eyes wide with disbelief, but he did not rush forward. Instead, he bowed his head deeply before the spirit. "Great King," he said, his voice steady and humble. "Thank you for your incredible generosity, but I only wish for enough to rebuild our small home, plant our fields anew, and care for my mother in her old age. I do not need these great riches." A warm, knowing smile spread across the king's face. He looked at Anne with deep admiration. "Your heart is more precious than all the gold in this mountain," he replied. "Your integrity, your love for your mother, your lack of greed. These are the true measures of wealth. Take what you need, Anne, and remember this always. Kindness and gratitude are the greatest treasures of all." Heeding the king's words, Anne entered the cave. He walked past the mountains of shimmering gold and sparkling gems, and took only a small pouch of gold coins, just enough to buy lumber, seeds, and food. He thanked the king of the Golden Mountain one last time with all his heart before the mountain sealed itself once more, leaving no trace of the cavern behind. Anne carried his mother back to their village once the floodwaters receded. With the gold, he didn't just rebuild his own home. He bought extra supplies. He shared what he had with his neighbors, whose homes had also been destroyed, helping them rebuild and replant their fields. He gave food to the hungry and offered a helping hand to anyone in need, never once mentioning the source of his sudden, modest fortune. Slowly but surely, thanks to Anne's leadership and generosity, the entire village began to recover. Homes were rebuilt, stronger than before, fields were sown, and a spirit of community and cooperation blossomed. The village didn't just return to how it was. It became more prosperous and peaceful than ever before. Anne continued to live a simple life, his greatest happiness found in his mother's comfort and the well-being of his neighbors. From that day forward, the people of the village lived in harmony. And often on clear, quiet nights, they would look up at the great mountain and see a soft, gentle golden light glowing from its peak. It wasn't a fierce, glaring light, but a warm, protective radiance. They would smile and tell their children that it was the king of the Golden Mountain, watching over them, reminding them of the kind young man who taught them all a valuable lesson. And so the legend of the king of the Golden Mountain lives on in Vietnam, passed down from one generation to the next. It's more than just a story about a spirit and a magic mountain. It's a timeless reminder that true wealth lies not in gold or silver, but in a kind, honest, and generous heart. Thank you so much for joining me for this beautiful story today. If you enjoyed it, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel for more tales from around the world. We'd love to have you in our community. Until next time, take care and remember to be kind.